end in tears. Angry judge strongly slammed Harry's legal team for irrelevant evidence in court. Providing a ruling following 2 preliminary hearings held last month, High Court Judge Mr. Justice Swift said on Thursday that evidence filed in support of the Duke's claim included irrelevant evidence. This, he continued, was inadmissible and should be excluded from the proceedings. The judge also said he rejected submissions from Prince Harry that the reasons for this conclusion should be in the public part of his judgment. This, the High Court judge said, would defeat the purpose of the exercise while serving no public interest. Mr. Justice Swift said, legal proceedings do not exist for the purpose of permitting parties to put irrelevant matters in the public domain, and the court must be astute to ensure that proceedings, legitimately pursued, do not become the occasion to publicize irrelevant material. Prince Harry is bringing legal action over a decision by the Home Office not to allow him to pay for police protection for himself and his family while they are in the UK. He is challenging the decision taken by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, REVEC, over his security, after being told he would no longer be given the same degree of personal protective security when visiting. A representative for the Duke said in January, upon announcing Harry was seeking judicial review, that the royal personally funds a private security team for him and his family in the US. However, these professionals cannot replicate the necessary police protection needed whilst in the UK. The representative added, in the absence of such protection, Prince Harry and his family are unable to return to his home. Last month, the High Court judge heard an application by both sides for some parts of the court documents in the case to be kept private. The court was told both Harry and the Home Office agreed on the vast majority of what should be redacted from witness evidence and the document outlining the Duke's case. The Duke's barrister, Shahid Fatima QC, also told the court that, to Harry, the UK is and always will be his home. Representing the Home Office, Robert Palmer QC told the court during one of the 2 preliminary hearings Harry's offer to pay for police protection was irrelevant, adding, personal protective security by the police is not available on a privately financed basis and REVEC does not make decisions on the provision of such security on the basis that any financial contribution could be sought or obtained to pay for it. In his judgment handed out on Thursday, Mr. Justice Swift said the bid to redact documents was allowed. Stressing this judgment simply focuses on which information should be kept confidential rather than on the merit of Harry's claim. The judge said, this judgment does not consider the merits of that claim, it concerns only the extent to which it is necessary for information relied on in support of the claim to remain confidential. He continued, some of the information relied on concerns security arrangements put in place either for the claimant or for other public figures in the United Kingdom. For obvious reasons information on such matters usually remains confidential. Mr. Justice Swift said that some parts of his reasons for the decision would have to remain confidential as well. The judge also criticized the legal team of Prince Harry on Thursday for breaking the embargo of the judgment. He said the copy of Thursday's ruling had been emailed to someone who was not a lawyer by someone in the Duke of Sussex's legal team. He called this move entirely unacceptable. The judge continued, it should have been obvious that what happened was a breach. At the very least, it should have been obvious that it needed to be reported to the judge, me, as soon as possible. He later said, it is also unacceptable that you come without an apology to the court. Ms. Fatima apologized and said she took full responsibility for the episode. In other news, Prince Harry has been lauded by Netflix documentary makers for his love and dedication to Afghanistan as he promoted their film 3 Songs for Benazir. The Duke of Sussex, who is currently living in his Montecito mansion after quitting the royal duty in 2020, spoke with Elizabeth and Gulistan Mirzai about their film. In a screen grab of the conversation shared to Twitter, the filmmakers wrote, last week, we had the honor and privilege to speak with Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex about our film 3 Songs for Benazir. Prince Harry's love and dedication to Afghanistan is truly inspiring and we are so grateful to have had the opportunity to share our story with him. Although the video of the discussion doesn't appear to be available online as yet, it's unclear what Prince Harry's involvement with the film is, or whether the conversation was purely for promotional reasons. The royal, who served 2 tours in Afghanistan during his decade in the army, signed a reputed £120 million deal with Netflix in 2020.